Hey everybody, it's Pastor Jeremy here with your daily faith moment today. And I wanted to bring up an image that's in Scripture a lot that tends to be, I think, misunderstood a lot in terms of the scriptural understandings. And that is the phrase or the term wilderness. It's a place that comes up a lot in our scriptures, whether that's in the Old Testament or New Testament. We see figures such as Jesus go into the wilderness. We hear the wilderness plays a huge part of the book of Revelation. And we also hear about the wilderness upon which the Israelites will wander for 40 years before they head into the Holy Land. And this idea that the wilderness is some place that we should avoid often comes from, I think, our human instinct, because we know that when we're in the wilderness, at least for any of you that have lived up in a heavily wooded area, you know that on some level we are out of our home base when we're in the wilderness. We are in a foreign kind of area and at times vulnerable in those places. But I think that's the ultimate point of the biblical understanding of wilderness, is that it's a place that we go to not just for an experience of shelter, but it's a place that we go to be changed. It's a place where our vulnerability is seen before God, and then God uses those openings within our hearts, our minds, within our understandings, and within our very lives to mold us and move us into who we are to be for God and maybe into the next season of our life. The wilderness is not an avoidable place. I think that's one of the things that Scripture really makes obvious to us, is that the wilderness is a place that we must go to. I think about the idea of Luke Skywalker going to meet Yoda on the swamp planet of Dagobah. And in that place, he has to face his fears. It's in this place where he has to train to become a Jedi, and facing some of his greatest fears that he has to face if he's going to become who he's supposed to be. So each of us, I think, are kind of challenged with this in the wilderness, that we go to places where we have to face our vulnerability, but we don't face it alone. Because the other promise of the wilderness is not just that we'll be changed, but that God will meet us there. So the idea is being willing to put ourselves in the places where we're able to be changed by God. It's sometimes a very difficult thing. And I think this time of our season of life is a bit of a wilderness. Each of us are thrown into something new, thrown into something at times that can be very intimidating. And certainly all of us are changing in these seasons of life that we're in. So just know that God is with you here, that God is with all of us, moving and reshaping us in this wonderful place called the wilderness. May God bless you and keep you today on your journey. Amen.